Welcome, race fans. It is Saturday night. This is Slammin' Saturday with KMA Racing. I am Scott Kolovic. This is KMA TV. We sit here out at Talladega on this great-looking Saturday evening. Great weather out here tonight. 75 degrees on the track. Air temp at 65. And we are driving the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras out here for 100 laps on Talladega. No special event out here tonight, just a bunch of guys going to get it on out here on this 2.653 mile speedway. Got our usual array of drivers out here. We've got Gary Whitmer Jr. joining us tonight, as well as Joel Guy, Ed Bray, Lee Staples and Ed representing Blacktown Motorsports. We've got the Maximum Velocity guys out here, Steve Dutz, Whitey, Wally Tierheimer, Andrew Schulte, and Chris Boyles joining us out here tonight, as well as RTK Motorsports' Ronald Klein. Hope to see Brad Ream out there on that KMA TV chat box. Not able to join us for the race, but hoping to see him out there on the chat rooting on his teammate, Ronald Klein, in the number 76. Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing a race for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Same Bat Cave, same Bat Place. People Against Distracted Driving. Stay alive, don't text and drive tomorrow night. Be sure to join us again Monday, Tuesday, and Friday of next week for Pocono Week. Xfinity class on Mondays, trucks on Tuesdays, and the Cup cars on Friday. We are coming out of Dover. What an exciting week Dover proved out to be. But Pocono, the tricky triangle, firing them up Monday night. Live broadcast by KMA TV. Drivers are wrapping up their qualifying laps. Now, this is a super speedway. Qualifying really doesn't mean jack out here. What does mean everything is where you're at on that last line. As drivers are lining up, taking a look at tonight's starting grid. Out there on the front, we do have Donald Sadusky. Donald Sadusky taking that pole position tonight with a 53.385. Eric Stiles sitting in second place with a 53.386. Wally Tierheimer in third, 53.391. Chris Boyles, Team Maximum Velocity with a 53.397. And Edward Bray with a 53.412, wrapping up our top five. He is side by side with his teammate, Lee Staples, position 6. Ronald Klein, position 7, representing RTK. Ben Gear, out of Florida, position 8. Position 9 and 9th is invalid. Got some goofy stuff going on right there. Eric Fields back there in position 9. Andrew Schulte, position 10. Craig Kinney out of Canada, side by side with Freeman Kelly out of the Mid-South Racing Club. Position 13, Sean Brown. Jack Watts, position 14. Michael Johnson, position 15. Paul Sheldon, 16th position tonight. Mark Amtower, position 17. Maurice Johnson, Gary Whitmer Jr. near the rear of the field, along with Lee Ryerson Jr. and Kevin Scott Nelson. Joel Guy, Mike Krupinski in the very back of the field. Oftentimes, a safe place to be is in the rear of that field. We're going to see how these drivers do get her done tonight out here at Talladega. All starts and restarts are done. Second gear on leader's discretion. Every great race begins with a great start or a restart. Hopefully we're going to see some green flag racing out here tonight. Donald Sadusky Never forgotten and always loved driving the Ryan Sadusky Memorial Tribute Truck. Big shout out there to the Sadusky family. Recently, we had a memorial race for Ryan, passed away just over a year ago. So we always keep Ryan Sadusky in our thoughts and our prayers, along with his family, Donald's son and daughter, and his mother and father. So big shout out there to Donald Sadusky, side by side with the 01 of Eric Styles. Big shout out there to the fans on the KMA TV chat box. I always love to see the fans out there. Becky Whitmer rooting on her son, Gary Whitmer Jr. Hey, big congratulations to the Whitmer family on the graduation of Gary Whitmer Jr.'s daughter, graduating out of high school. Big shout out to the Whitmer family. Donald Sadusky holding very steady on this restart. And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nice double file restart. Everybody following those rules, getting a glimpse of Wally out there on the tail end of the number 20 Silverado, being driven by Donald Sadusky inside lane, gaining a little bit of a early groove there as we roll around turn 1 and 2. Donald Wally and Edward Bray and Ronald Klein on that inside lane, but the momentum belonging now to the outside lane, being led by Eric Styles. The number 28 of Chris Boyles out there. Team Maximum Velocity, Team KMA, RTK Motorsports, Black Talon Racing, and several individual drivers out here tonight for 100 laps of Talladega. 30 laps on a fuel run. Eric Styles going wide. Now, I'll tell you what, folks, when you are up in the chopper view, as we call it right now, you can actually get 5 trucks across that field. Very easily, in fact. We have done 5 wide. They are scraping a little bit, but it can be done. But I'll tell you what, when you are down into that cockpit, things are a lot tighter than what they appear. Taking it down into the cockpit of the number Kevin Scott Nelson, currently in 11th position. Already looking very tight, but as we saw up there from the chopper view, there's plenty of room to get her done. Oftentimes what ends up happening is these drivers will start to panic. Donald Sadusky out there in the front. Now, he's got nothing to worry about. He is out in the front, free and clear, jumping back to the number 66 of Edward Bray, all over the rear end of Wally Tierheimer here on lap 2. Drivers settling in very early on. Taking a look at the pad logo there on the rear end of the number 57 of Wally Tierheimer. All right, unfortunately, looking at the KMA TV chat, I do believe there may have been a mistake by one of the admins and admin accidentally removed the wrong driver. I have done that myself, and I tell you what, that is a heartbreaker right there. What happens there, Becky? We'll explain that out to you. Oh, we are 3 wide up there in the front. We'll get down that 3 wide here momentarily as Edward Bray taking it 3 wide. But what happens, Becky, is we try to control who races in our rooms, and everybody is assigned a number, and oftentimes the number does get confused. I myself have removed the wrong driver. For instance, you're meant to remove the 39, and you end up removing the 49. Unfortunately, Gary Whitmer Darn, that's a heartbreaker out there. Three wide action early on, lap 4. Wally Tierheimer up on that outside lane. Well, I tell you what, Gary, if you're out there on that KMA TV chat, you want to come up here and join me in the booth, you feel free to move down into this channel and you can help me call tonight's race. If you are comfortable doing that, come up here and keep me some conversation. Three wide action outside lane in the number 5701, falling a little bit further back, falling back in line. Hey, taking a look at the top of the number 19 of Lee Ryerson, driving the Angels Never Die. Three wide action there with Chris Voiles. And the number 7 and the 01 Eric Styles sliding back down. Lee Staples and Sean Brown in the number 65 just following suit here on lap 5 as Eric Styles comes down in front of the number 90 GoPro Craig Kinney. Number 7 falling back up into that middle lane. Contact in front. Backing that up to the number 28, I do believe. Might have been involved in it. Contact between the number 28 and the number 224. Do believe maybe Lee Ryerson in the number 19 getting a little bit into contact with a driver. 19 into the 28, sending the 28 for a ride. 19 getting rear-ended as well. Our first caution coming very early on lap 6 of 100 tonight out here at Talladega. Actually, no caution did happen. Still under green flag racing. Could have sworn that caution would have come out. Jumped the gun right there, but we are green flag racing up there in the front with Donald Sadusky, Edward Bray, Ronald Klein, Wally Tierheimer, Freeman Kelly. Really surprised that caution did not come out there, folks. That's going to be a game changer out here tonight. Bro has broken this field up. Kevin Scott Nelson leading a 3-pack along with Eric Styles and Lee Staples for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Sean Brown riding solo, being chased down by Lee Ryerson, Joel Guy, and Craig Kinney. Now what these drivers need to do right here, they need to be nice to the number 65 and pick him up. The more the merrier, but it does not appear that's going to happen unless the number 90 indeed sliding up, going to grab onto the rear end of the 65 of Sean Brown. Sean Brown, Craig Kinney coming down, going to try to hook back up with the number 91 of Joel Guy and the number 19 of Lee Ryerson Jr. But they have fallen off of the lead pack, sitting back there by 6.1 seconds, 6.2 seconds. Rear end damage on the rear end of Lee Ryerson Jr. Andrew Schulte riding solo as well, getting out of pit row. Not sure what Andrew Schulte having some steering difficulties, it does appear. Nationwide on your side, number 8, Andrew Schulte. Andrew Schulte doing a little bit of swerving. I'm not sure what the situation is about that. Edward Bray, Donald Sadusky, Wally Tierheimer out in front. Edward Bray on the inside lane. Wally Tierheimer on the outside lane. Number 31, Freeman Kelly, making a good run. Side by side with the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Number 20, Donald Sadusky, holding very strong in that inside lane, staying true to Edward Bray. Much smaller field up there in the front. Almost guarantees some green flag pit stops tonight. Trucks reaching speeds up to 195, 196 miles per hour out here tonight at Talladega. Lap 11 of 100. Black Talon Racing, Chevy Silverado, Edward Bray. Ronald Klein, sharp looking paint job right there. Side by side with Wally Tierheimer. Outside lane getting a big run. Freeman Kelly hanging on for dear life in the number 31 as he gets a good run, gets a good push there with Wally. Sean W. Brown coming up on slower traffic and up there to the high side as they do whip around. Lee Ryerson Jr. getting a good push by Lee Staples side by side with Craig Kenny. Craig Kenny in the GoPro being pushed on by the U.S. Army. Eric Stiles, 0-1. Lee Staples, Black Talon Racing coming on the inside, getting pushed on by the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Number 65 losing that momentum that he had. Still in the draft of Lee Staples. Dropping down, getting behind the number 91. 91 going back up to pick up Lee Staples. And 65, Sean Brown, going to join that outside lane one more time. Double file racing in front. Lap 14 of 186 laps to go. 4 lead changes. We've got the Army up here in the front. We are 3 wide as Joel Guy scraping with that wall. Beautiful looking truck though. That's going to cost Joel Guy a couple of spots. Love it or leave it. United States Marine Corps. Joe was a Marine. Very patriotic, sitting right here in about 5th place with Joel Guy starting to... Oh, contact! That'll bring out that caution every time. Looking at Sean W. Brown, Eric in the middle, We're 3 wide, we are 3 wide. Oh, and right there it is. Nope, there it is. All right, look at the 0-1 Army guy, along with the number 65, 3 wide action, almost 4 wide, and just a slight clip by Eric Styles onto the rear end of the number 65, over into the number 90, and Wipeout City. Gonna have to put some Beach Boys on and sing Wipeout. First caution coming out on lap 16, but what a good run we did have right there. 16 laps of green flag racing. That's going to tighten these boys right back up. I tell you what, that'll put Donald Sadusky out there on the front line with Wally Tierheimer. Pretty sure these drivers are going to be heading off into pit row underneath our first caution. Donald Sadusky, Wally Tierheimer, Edward Bray heading off into pit row. One driver opting to stay out. 2 drivers opting to stay out. Sean Brown still trying to catch up to the field. Lee Ryerson Jr. 1 lap down along with Ben Gear. Ben Gear heading into pit row is still Fields staying out. The Steel Fields getting his free pass tonight. Nice looking paint job on the number on Chris Fields. The Steel Fields looking very sharp out there. Misbehaving. Let me get a chat in and check on the story with the paint job on a Steel Fields. How about it, Still? Have you got a copy?
Hey, Scott, I got you loud and clear, buddy.
Alrighty, nice looking truck right there, Toyota Tundra, Misbehaving. Tell us about that truck.
Yeah, it's my Air Force theme. I'm about to retire soon from active duty, and figure I'd do a tribute to the career and the wonderful life I've had in the Air Force.
How long were you in the Air Force, sir?
It'll be 21 years in June.
Wow, alrighty. Thank you for your service out there. Now, talk to us about the race tonight. 17 laps there, 16 laps of green flag. Not a huge field out here. You got any partners out here trying to get it hooked up to?
Well, I had started out late there and ended up a lap down. But now, luckily for me, I got the lucky dog. I'm going to try and hook up with some KMA guys and take it easy and then try and make a run for the finish at the end there.
Alrighty, copy that. The man with the plan. Again, thank you for your service, and we'll see you out there on that track.
Copy that. Thank you for your support, sir.
Eric Styles representing the U.S. Army. Joel Guy out here representing, actually the Air Force. Joel Guy representing the Marines. A lot of support out here for the armed forces tonight. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you show support for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. We'll be doing our monthly PAD awareness race tomorrow night. Donald Sadusky in the tribute truck, looking very sharp. How about it, Donald? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Scott. How you doing?
Doing very good, sir. You started first. Right now you're in first. You're in a good position. You're in a good-looking truck right there. Tell us briefly about the paint job. Never forgotten, Ryan Sadusky.
John Hendricks painted for me. It's a tribute to my oldest boy, Ryan Sadusky, that passed away May 3rd, 2016. He was born May 20th, 2003. I run this for him because he was a big iRacer, and everybody respected him, on the simulator. And one guy they told me a story that they go, "Are you Donald Sadusky's dad?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You drive pretty good. You sure don't drive like him." But this truck goes out to him.
All right. All righty. Well, do your best to keep her clean. Now, what's your thoughts on the race out here tonight? We had 16 laps there, green flag, small field. Think we can get her done tonight with no more cautions?
I'm hoping, Scott. I'm hoping. You know, like I said, keep this Ryan Sadusky Chevrolet up front here, and we'll just go from there and see what happens.
All righty. Good luck to you, sir, and have fun.
Thank you, sir.
Donald Sadusky on communications with Craig Kinney. Possibly going to try to get hooked up with Craig Kinney tonight. Lee Ryerson taking his free pass. Going to put him back onto that lead pack. Now these guys have got to hurry up and catch that field. But opting to not go into pit road, they were placed at the front. 1 lap down, thereby on 1 to go. They get their free pass, putting them back onto that lead lap. Kind of sort of like a lucky dog, but not quite. But nonetheless, that will put 13 drivers out here on the lead lap. Donald Sadusky, Wally Tierheimer, Edward Bray, Ronald Klein, Freeman Kelly, our top 5. Joel Guy working his way up into mid-pack. Ben Gear 1 lap down. Chris Voiles 2 laps down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are heating it up, starting to get excited. I am anticipating some green flag pit stops out here tonight. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer Jr. GW Graphics. Edward Bray inside lane representing Black Talon side by side with RTK. Big shout out there to Ronald Klein supplying the new gear for KMA TV. Pace car in. Edward Bray very tight onto the rear end of Donald. Love the sound of those engines as they do shift up. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Separation from the 66 and the number 20 on the inside. Eric Stiles and the 01 Army all over the rear end of Freeman Kelly. Outside lane falling apart. Ronald Klein back up onto the rear end of Wally Tierheimer. Edward and Lee getting a position 2 and 3 on Thursday night's run. Teamwork, very important out here on these speedways. Ronald Klein showing his support for Pad on the back quarter panel of that Chevy Silverado, looking very sharp. Drivers running speeds 194, 195 around turn 3. Got to watch out for that yellow line, though, here at Talladega. It's not as bad as that at Daytona, but still, you got to have a lot of trust as we watch the 01 taking one tire down below that yellow line. Not attempting to pass. That would be completely illegal to do that. Edward Bray on the outside lane now, falling a little bit behind, trying to get hooked back up in a push from Wally. Watching the 01 Eric Stiles constantly on and off of that throttle. The fastest truck on the track right now would actually be the last driver on the tail end of this pack. You get so much pull, you actually have to back off of that throttle. No brakes. No downshifting, obviously, but as we will watch here, as we do come back down this backstretch, speeds will be picking up right now, sitting at 196. Watching the pull that Kevin is getting off of the number 90 of Craig Kinney. Getting close, getting close. There's a big pull right there. Having to back down to 194 miles per hour. Wally Tierheimer much tighter up onto the rear end of Black Talon Racing, Edward Bray. Wally Tierheimer is on the rear end of Edward Bray like a tick on a coon dog on a hot summer day, side by side with Freeman Kelly. Eric Stiles tighter yet up onto the rear end of the number 31, making their way to that outside lane. Eric Stiles opting to go outside. Eric Stiles going to make a run on that secondary lane as they come around the dog leg and head up here for turn 1, getting a big run. Edward Bray given that outside lane everything that he has got. Wally Tierheimer holding very steady, making sure he stays off of that outside lane being driven by Edward Bray. You know, Edward needs to be all over the driver. He is pushing. He needs to be tighter than a hair in a biscuit. But in Wally's position, he has got to give a little bit of wiggle room right there. Now, he is pretty tight down there onto the number 224 and popping down behind the number 224. Lane change there for Wally Tierheimer. Going to go hanging out with the University of Michigan, Kevin Scott Nelson. Craig Kinney in the number 90 in a very good position to go 3 wide if he can get the number 224 to go with them. At 224, very content. Again, right there, we are looking at how wide this Talladega track is. Plenty of room to go 3 wide. You can go 4 wide. I've done 5 wide, but right now drivers are very content to stay down there. Double file. Wally Tierheimer hanging out in a very good position, opting for that outside lane though. Edward Bray setting the example out here tonight along with Donald Sadusky, Eric Stiles. Freeman Kelly driving a Toyota. Not much of a Toyota fan. Always been more into Chevys. Actually, I'm a Dodge Ram kind of guy. But I tell you what, mechanically out here, there is no difference between the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras. It all comes down to personal preference. Lap 27 of 173 to go. 1 caution, totaling out 4 laps, 6 lead changes. Donald Sadusky leading the most laps so far tonight with 21. Eric Stiles leading 1. Edward Bray leading 4. Wally Tierheimer leading a lap. And underneath goes Freeman Kelly, going to give a big bump. Easy, 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 brother. Hang on to her, brother. Now Freeman Kelly getting a big bump there, causing a little bit of damage there onto the 0-1 of Eric Stiles. Bumped him so hard, rippled up that little tailgate there. It's not going to affect performance in any way, shape, or form. But I tell you what, the guys don't have a lot of fun talking about the damage that can be put on. If you're going to hurt me square. And that is exactly Freeman Kelly had to get that bump, had to get that almost boost. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough as number 20 comes back down, leading that inside lane, putting Edward Bray under that outside lane. Edward Bray still making a run. Going to get a little bit of help from Kevin Scott Nelson. Lee Staples hanging out very strongly back in 8th position, side by side with the number 28 of Chris Voiles. Now, Chris Voiles is 1 lap down. Chris Voiles is the first driver 1 lap down. But Chris Voyles is actually in a very good position. Now, if we do go caution free, just let's say this thing does go caution free, Chris Voyles is going to want to help out his teammate, Wally Tierheimer, who is directly in front of him. So these two drivers need to stay hooked up. If it goes green flag racing, Wally's going to need his lap down teammate, Chris Voyles. But if Chris Voyles wants a chance at winning tonight, he needs to find a way to get back onto that lead lap. One of two ways that can work out. He can either race around Wally, get up there to the front, get in front of Donald Sadusky, and hope that caution does come out. He can back up, get out of this hornet's nest up here on lap 30, hope that caution does come out. If he stays where he is at right now under green flag, he will not have a chance at winning tonight's race. He's going to be one lap down for the remaining 69 laps. And if the caution comes out where he's at and he gets caught up into it, well, he's not going to get that lucky dog position. So Chris Voyles, in essence, right now taking a huge chance out here, staying up in this hornet's nest, but still showing a lot of love for his teammate and good friend, Wally Tierheimer. Decisions out here on lap 31 of 100. Checking in on Joel Guy. Joel Guy running around in 12th position with the number 42 of Estill Fields. "40 seconds back off of that leader now on a 52-second track here. They're more than likely going to get lapped. Taking a look at Ronald Klein sitting in position 10. Still in a very good spot. And Donald Sadusky, is it pit row time? Donald Sadusky heading off into pit row. Actually off track. I'm not sure what's happening there with Donald Sadusky. He may have got punted down under that apron. Nonetheless, that's going to put Donald Sadusky out here by himself. He must have got punted down. Edward Bray will take the lead on lap 32. Eric Stiles sitting on that outside lane. Kevin Scott Nelson on the inside. Contact! Hold her down, fellas! All right, contact here between 224 and Eric Stiles. Yes, no. We're clean. Bump, and right there it is, right there. Check out the 01 Army and the 224 Exalta. And 01 making contact with the 224. Looking at it one more time. Tighter than a hair in a biscuit right there, but I think that a little bit of contact, downward motion there by Eric Stiles. Edward Bray going for a ride, though. Able to keep her upright, but that will cost Edward Bray his one backup. Going to run out there to that hauler, and Edward will be getting his backup, Chevy Silverado. Looking at how the truck is in motion right now, folks, that is what we call walking a dog. Edward Bray dog walking his way into pit row on lap 67. Second caution of the night. That'll put Freeman Kelly out there on that front line. Talking about the number 28 of Chris Voyles, one lap down. Now Chris Voyles will be hoping for that lucky dog position. Not sure if Chris Voyles got into it or not. All right, good deal with the number 31 pitting in. Now what that does is if he does not get that lucky dog position right here, folks, because he can't have any damage on this caution. If he does not get it, because he is the first, he is a lap down driver, he's going to get the lucky, the free pass either way it goes. So that will put the number 28, Chris Voyles, back on lead lap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gearing it up for tomorrow night. Here comes that pad commercial. Join us tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, in our monthly Race for PAD Awareness, People Against Distracted Driving. You can find more information at padd.org. Underneath our second caution of the night, lap 34 of 100. Number 28 of Chris Voiles, hoping for that. Nope, Chris Voiles ducking into pit row. Alrighty, not going to happen out here tonight. Ronald Klein sitting in second position. How about it, RTK Motorsports? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir, Scott. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so far so good. 2 cautions, 34 laps, not bad racing out here. What is your take on the remaining 65 laps out here?
Survival, Scott. That's always the plan when it comes to the super speedways, is survival.
Alrighty, survival indeed. Now, you brought up a very interesting topic of conversation out there about survival. I'm taking a look at your truck, and you've got the PAD logo on the back quarter panel. Speaking of survival, talk to us real quick about PAD.
PAD is People Against Distracted Driving, basically texting and talking on the phone and basically doing anything that distracts you from when you're driving. And we support that. KMA is endorsed by PAD, and glad to be part of it and proudly wear that on the truck.
Alrighty, and you're out here also representing RTK. Big shout out there to your teammate, Brad Ream. You've got a win in this week on Tuesday. What do you think your chances are out here tonight at Talladega? Because this is not Dover.
Again, it's all about survival and getting down to the last few laps and working with the teammates. So if the cards all line up, I feel like the truck is obviously capable. I think I'm capable, and it's just if we're in the right spot at the right time with our teammates behind us, we'll be going for the win. If not, we'll be gladly pushing one of our teammates to the win.
Alrighty, good luck to you, Ronald Klein on RTK Motorsports.
Thanks, Scott.
Also, a big shout out there to those race fans that standing behind KMA TV. Still in our infancy, but feeling a lot more comfortable. And Ronald Klein has contributed very generously to the future of KMA TV with new equipment. So a big shout out there to Ronald Klein, taking a look at our current running order underneath our second caution of the night here at Talladega. Donald Sadusky started first, right now is in first, Ronald Klein. Sean Brown, Lee Staples, Craig Kinney, top 5. Wally Tierheimer, position 10. Kevin Scott Nelson falling 1 lap down. Drivers coming down that backstretch, getting ready to roll up for our next restart of the night. Going to get an in-car angle of the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson on this next restart. Restarts are the best part of these races, ladies and gentlemen. Got to be on your toes. Need to be jacked up bumper to bumper. If you're near the rear of the field, great responsibility. Now you notice there's not much traffic to the right side of Kevin Scott Nelson. He's got to stay tucked up onto the rear end of Wally Tierheimer. Second gear, 83 miles per hour. Love the way the flame shoots out those side tailpipes on these Silverados and Tundras. Getting ready to go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Pop in third gear at 122. .155 miles per hour, entering fourth gear for Kevin Scott Nelson, representing the University of Michigan. But he needs to get it getting up there too. Wally Tierheimer, he is already falling back off of that pack as the number 31 goes ripping by, saying bye-bye birdie to Kevin Scott Nelson. If he does not get on that throttle very soon, he will lose that draft. When you do lose that draft, we are talking speed differences of the 195-mile range down to about 185. And if you are the solo guy out here on Talladega, you're not going to go very far, very fast. Now, he is getting a little bit of help from Ben Gear in the number 7. Ben Gear driving a Toyota Tundra as well. They are getting ground up onto the number 31. Talking about the runs out here. Ben Gear backing off rear end damage to the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Severe rear end damage to the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. That is going to slow that driver down as the number 7 realizes that and does pull away. Edward Bray working with the number 19 of Lee Ryerson Jr. Lee Ryerson driving the Angels Never Die. Joel Guy in the number 91 pushing on. RTK Motorsports, Ronald Klein. Lap 39 of 100. Huge checkup in the front. Lee Staples sitting in position 5. Number 42, Estill Fields. Looking very sharp out here, position 4. Caution is out. Maybe yes, maybe no. Smoke into pit row. Number 20 of Donald Sadusky. Now, we are still green flag, but we're going to check out exactly what did happen. So this is a replay, but we still are live. Looking at the number 20, getting a boost at a turn from the number 65. Oh, no, say it isn't so. Donald Sadusky, not a bad hit, but that's going to slow him down. That will surely drop him one lap down, but we still are green flag racing out here at Talladega. We are on lap 40 of 100, and Lee Ryerson battling out. We are 3 wide for the front, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 40 of 100. Three wide as they do whip around the number 90 of Craig Kenny. Craig Kenny is the monkey in the middle. No help for the monkey in the middle. Craig Kenny, Lee Wright, 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 wide with Edward Bray. 65, Sean Brown. Oh, my goodness, 4 wide. There goes the number 90, squeezing it, squeezing it. Wow, folks, whoa. Got a little excited right there on lap 40 when we were 4 wide right there. Craig Kenny navigating his way. I tell you what, I bet you probably might have got yelled at right there by a couple of drivers. You know, we're not even to the halfway point, and they were going 4 wide here at Talladega Super Speedway in the KMA Racing Slamming Saturday, and they were slamming. It is Saturday. Well, why the hell not? Let's go 4 wide. Can we see some 5 wide out here tonight? Here's Ronald Klein. Might be itching to do a little bit of 3 wide. That was kind of fun right there, going 4 wide. A little bit scary, though. Riding along the hood of Joel Guy. Now, Joel Guy started 23rd. He is out here tonight in position 7, making his ground and around. Going downtown against the number 31. LA Graphics, Lee Staples. And the number 64 Chevy Silverado. Joe Guy tighten it up onto the rear end of Lee Staples. Sean W. Brown all over the rear end of Carl's Jr. Wally Tierheimer. Lee Ryerson out in front. Nothing but clean air out there in the front of Lee Ryerson Jr. If you were a deer up on the hood of his car, this is what you would be staring at. Nothing but clean air in a very good place. Looking at Craig Kinney, though. Well, that is just... Whoa! Craig Kinney all over the rear end of the Angels Never Die. Lee Ryerson. I'll tell you what, if you were a deer on that hood, you'd be close enough. And Craig Kinney going underneath. 3 wide up there in the front. Lee Ryerson, the monkey in the middle. Ronald Klein up on that outside, 3 wide. Joel Guy. Lee Staples sitting back watching this 3 wide action. Angels Never Die in that middle lane. Coming up onto the rear end fast of the number 42 of Estill Fields. Hey, big shout out there to Estill. Looking at the logo, KMA, that little skull busting out that tailgate right there. Love it when the drivers use the logos of KMA Racing. Biggest compliment you can get. Number 28, Chris Voiles out there on that outside lane. Still 1 lap down. Chris Voiles still, though, trying to get that 1 lap down, but not going to happen without another caution. Almost to the halfway point. 55 laps to go. 16 lead changes. Edward Bray leading 8 laps, but Donald Sadusky leading 30. Falling 4 laps down. Donald Sadusky possibly out for the night. Loving the action these drivers are doing out here tonight. Want to see some green flag pit stops. In-car camera with Lee Staples. Ronald Klein up on that outside lane, side by side with a Marine feller, Joel Guy. Want to give a big shout out there to the fans out there on KMA TV. Type it up in that KMA TV chat. Almost to that halfway point, fans. I want to know who you think is going to win it tonight. Edward Bray out there in front. Lee Ryerson being such a trooper tonight. Craig Kinney not shy about that 4 wide scenario. Ronald Klein already with a win this week. Lee Staples, Edward Bray got a 2nd and a 3rd position on Thursday. Wally Tierheimer hunting out his first win in quite a while, along with Joel Guy, Sean Brown, and Ben Gear. Ben Gear hanging on for dear life on the rear end of that pack. Chris Voiles dropping. Chris Voiles still in the Tiger's den. Now Chris Voiles, he is 3rd truck on that inside lane, but he is 1 lap down. Looks like he is going to try to get his lap back the hard way. Now what he's got to do, folks, Edward Bray, inside lane, up there in the red, black, and white. He's got to get around Edward. He's got to get around, well, right now he's got to get around Lee Ryerson. And I do believe the Kelly Freeman in the number 31. He has got to get all the way to the front of this pack. Now, once he does that, he'll be in position, technically position 1, physically position 1, but he's still a lap. Well, he's actually would be on the lead lap, but at the tail end. So if that caution were to come out, as long as he stays clear, well, he's on the lead lap. He's just about as far back as you can go, and if that leader were to pass him, he'll fall 1 lap down. So Chris Voiles has got to get around this traffic. And as soon as he does take the front of this line, technically he'll be on that lead lap. Tighter than a hair in a biscuit. One more time as the number 31, Freeman Kelly, down there in front, or the number 90 of Craig Kinney. Craig Kinney all over the rear end of Edward Bray. Edward Bray going up in front of Lee Ryerson. And Chris Voiles is just sitting here watching and waiting. Gary Whitmer Sr. out there rooting for Edward Bray. Well, Edward Bray's got a good chance at it. Hey, Chris Hogue out there on that KMA TV chat. I tell you what, Chris Hogue, we've had quite a race tonight. We've had 2 cautions. We are on lap 50 of 100. Halfway there. Quoting a little bit of Bon Jovi right there for our race chat fans. Oh, we're halfway there. Living on a prayer. And the number 28 of Chris Boyles, he is indeed living on a prayer. Lap traffic up there in the Hornets' Den as Lee Staples goes back down onto that. Edward Bray goes back down in front. Lee Ryerson tried to follow him down but couldn't find that gap there in front of the number 31. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to get into some quad core commercial action here. Big shout out there to our Monday night sponsor, Richard Brose. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out there to our Monday night sponsor, Richie B. out of Dothan, Alabama. If you're ever down there in Dothan, Alabama, check out Richie B. Good stuff out there with Richard Brose. Good stuff out here racing tonight. Becky Whitmer talking about Ronald Klein. All righty, well, let's get these driver stats updated here. Ronald Klein leading 1 lap. Ronald Klein, 6th position. Almost 3 wide there with Wally Tierheimer. All right, we have got the Whitmer household out there rooting on Ronald Klein and Edward Bray. How about it, Chris Hogue? Who is your pick out here tonight? All right, Chris, we're going to get you caught up, brother. Edward Bray leading 15 laps. Craig Kenny leading 1. Lee Ryerson 1. Estelle leading 1. Lee leading 1. Ronald Klein, Becky Whitmer's pick for the night, leading 1 lap. Donald Sadusky leading 30 laps, but right now 11 laps down. Got a little bit of punt down there to that inside. Was a little bit too much for the Ryan Sadusky number 20 tonight. So Donald Sadusky is out and about, taking her back to the hauler. But right now on lap 53 of 100, Edward Bray, Craig Kenny, almost 3 wide action. Lee Ryerson looking like he wanted to go 3 wide. Backing out of it, though. Sean W. Brown in the number 65 doing a great job out here tonight. Love it or leave it, Joel Guy loving the logo there with Joel Guy doing his duty with the Marine Corps. Side by side, Joel Guy, Ronald Klein, Wally Tierheimer. Joel Guy staying very carefully attached to the rear end of Lee Staples. Lee Staples onto the number 42, side by side with Chris Boyles. Number 28, Chris Boyles, still 1 lap down, still up here in the Lion's Den. Number 19, Lee Ryerson showing his support for Pad, pushing on the rear end of Craig Kenny, and you can't push any harder than that. Lee Ryerson all over the GoPro Chevy Silverado being driven by Craig Kenny, side by side with Edward Bray. Nothing but clean, fresh air out there for Edward Bray. That is the view that you want to see at the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike the view of Lee Staples, and I tell you what, Lee Staples has got his work cut out for him tonight. He started 6th, working his way up to 4th. We are 3 wide up there in the front. Angels will never die. Number 19, Lee Ryerson, outside by himself. That's going to cost him, ladies and gentlemen. You got to have some help up on that outside lane. And the number 19 of Lee Staples, Number 19 of Lee Ryerson is going to be losing several positions. That's going to knock him down to position 9. He was just up there in position 1 at contact. Ooh, the number 7. Number 7. Ooh, ouchie. Bangaroony. You know what? We're gonna go on and back that up, folks. We are still under green flag racing, but we got to check out what happened here with the number 7 as the number 19. Ooh, buddy, you were not clear. Backing it up one more time, and we're not under caution, but the Angels never die. Coming down, he was not clear. Tough break for the number 7 of Ben Gear. Back up to green flag racing in the front with Edward Bray, Craig Kinney, the number 31, doing a great job out here tonight. Freeman Kelly, but Freeman Kelly is 2 laps down. Well, you know what? We got 2 races going on, folks. I forgot about this second race. Now, this second race is between the number 28 and the 31. Both of these drivers are laps down. Chris Voiles 1 lap down. The number 31, 2 laps down. But even so, again, once that number 31 passes up that number 28, again, if they cross the line like this, he'll be 2 laps down. If he gets that lead, he'll be 1 lap down. Going to be a lot of back and forth action tonight for the number 28 and the number 31. Edward Bray, 66. Craig Kinney, number 90. Number 42, Estelle Fields. Ronald Klein, still large and in charge in position 4, going down in front of Lee Staples, leaving Wally Tierheimer high and dry. Wally Tierheimer sitting out there in 5th position. Started 3rd. Chris Hogue out there putting his money down on Edward Bray. All right, that is 2 votes for Edward Bray, 1 vote for Ronald Klein. Tell you what, sounds like Survivor. Gonna have to go get that Survivor fella out here with me. 1 vote, Ronald Klein. 2 votes, Edward Bray. We'll see who has been eliminated from this tribe. Ladies and gentlemen, here in about 42 laps. Having a lot of fun up here in the booth, talking to the race fans out there on that KMA TV chat. Fired up, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to me out there on that KMA TV chat. Edward Bray out here in front. Now, you got to remember, though, these drivers, we should be seeing some green flag pit stops coming up very soon. They have been driving for quite a while out here, running out that Sunoco fuel. Craig Kinney sitting in 2nd position. Estelle Fields, Wally Tierheimer, Ronald Klein. 9 drivers out here on this lead lap. Lap 59 of 141 laps to go. 16 lead changes, 2 cautions, and 5 laps. Joel Guy sitting in a very strong position. 7th. Pushing on to the rear end of Lee Staples. Lee Staples all over the rear end of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein, Becky Whitmer's choice for the night. Wally Tierheimer just holding steady. It ain't nothing but a thing, says Wally Tierheimer. Should be seeing some green flag pit stops coming on very soon. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, got to get all serious now for a minute. We're going to be heading for Pocono. You heard it right. Oh no, it's Pocono. The Tricky Triangle. Big run by Wally. Drivers in pit row. Green flag pit stops. Looking at Sean W. Brown in pit row. Ronald Klein in pit row. Lee Staples in pit row. Lee Staples, Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein getting his way out of pit row. Green flag pit stops. Lee Staples on his way out of pit row. Sean W. Brown on his way out of pit row. Joel Guy on his way out of pit row. Edward Bray getting it back up to speed. 168, 169, 170. Working along with the number 42. Change of plans up here. That'll put Craig Kenny out here in front. Has yet to get in and out of pit row. But I do suspect Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer should be heading off into pit row very soon. Now, Wally Tierheimer is still hooked up with Chris Voyles. Now, we talked about this. Right here, we have got two lead lap drivers, the number 90, the number 57, but the number 31 and the number 28, 2 laps down, 1 lap down. So, a lot of strategy right now. I don't think that Chris Voyles is going to let go of Wally. Now, Freeman and Craig Kenny, they're not on the same race channel as far as voice goes. So not so sure that Craig Kenny and Freeman are going to be able to communicate. But we'll see what happens. Green flag racing on lap 64 of 100. Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer, expected green flag pit stops, and number 90 going up high, number 31 staying down below. Keeping an eye on these fellows, expecting them to pit very soon. Wally ripping past with his teammate. How about it, Gary? Have you got a copy? Alrighty, I think Gary checking out the KMA TV chat. Gary going for a beer. Alrighty. We're going to wait for Gary to get back down. He's going to let us know when he's back. And we're going to talk to Gary Whitmer Jr. Mom Whitmer, like, another one? Yeah, well, he's been a good boy this week. I'll tell you what. Why not? Craig Kenny into pit row. Wally Tierheimer into pit row. Craig Kenny, wiggly squiggly. Might have got a penalty. I'm not sure. Wally Tierheimer into pit row along with the number 31 green flag pit stops. Ladies and gentlemen, gotta love these green flag pit stops as they do develop out. They are hard oftentimes to come by. But right now, Wally Tierheimer sitting in pit row. Becky Whitmer thinking about a glass of wine. Well, I tell you what, you go get your wine, pour you a glass, and I'll sit here and I'll drink my caffeinated coffee with you. Green flag pit stops. Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer. Alrighty, boogity boogity. They are back out too. Green flag racing out here. We are on lap 66 of 100. Checking in with our current race leader, Craig Kenny. But that's going to change. Craig well below speed as he is trying to get back out onto that track. Edward Bray coming on hard and heavy. And we copy that there. Chris Hogue, absolutely right. Partnership is everything. And now, right now, very interesting situation right here. We've got Edward Bray working with Estill, Ronald Klein in tow. Now, Ronald Klein, Edward Bray, they are in a good position. They're going to bear down on the Wally Meister. Wally Meister, hang on to your hat. You have got a KMA freight train coming down on you. Normally, slower traffic does go right. No problem, no harm, no foul. We're all professionals here. Obviously, a little bit of communication. But that will put Craig Kenny out there still on that front line. But Edward Bray coming on hard and heavy. How about it, GW? Are you back on that KMA TV chat? Edward Bray coming around the number 90 of Craig Kenny. And Chris Voles still lap down as Edward Bray. And the number 42, what are they going to do with Ronald? Ronald Klein. Oh, they abandoned Ronald Klein out on that outside lane. Ronald Klein desperately needed that draft of the number 42. And that's going to drift Ronald Klein back onto the rear end of the number 90. But the number 28 coming up. But Ronald Klein saying, no, thank you, sir. I want to get onto the rear end of the number 90. At number 90, well, he's trying to make a run. Well, you can't go by yourself, brother. Ronald Klein, number 90. Craig Kenny, got to work together. 42 is still Fields. Is he going to stay true to Edward Bray? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 position right here with Edward. Still, Craig Kenny going out there on his own. Oh, contact! That'll do it every time. Every time. Number 90 had to go outside. Number 90, Craig Kenny. Watch him. Watch him. Boom. Whoops. My bad. There goes the number 42, Wally, driving underneath. All right, ladies and gentlemen, third caution of the night brought out to you by Craig Kenny. That'll put Edward Bray, Ronald Klein into a 1-2 position. Craig Kenny sitting back there in third position. Ooh, wow. I tell you what, just barely came down on him. But that will bring out our third caution of the night. All righty, we got to talk pit row here. Lap 69 of 100. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit of secret here. These drivers, they go into pit row right now, and they will have enough fuel. It does appear that Edward Bray, Ronald Klein, Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer, positions 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be making their way into pit row. All righty, we got Gary Whitmer out there on that KMA TV chat. How about it, Gary Whitmer? Have you got a copy?
I got you, Scott.
All righty. Unfortunately, wow, we know how the admin stuff goes. Hey, apologies to you, brother. One of the admins went to remove another driver, got the number mixed up, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I had left because I wasn't going to qualify. I left to do some things before the race began and come back and had a gray screen where it wouldn't let me do anything. So I jumped out, tried to get back in, and I got with Joel, and he explained it to me. So it's all good.
All righty, copy that. I have actually removed another admin, so a lot of stuff going on. But you've been a great sport out here tonight, hanging out with us. So 3 cautions out here. We're on lap 70. Man, what a good race!
Yeah, it looks really good on the 55-inch big screen TV. It's been a very good race so far.
All righty, copy that. Now you are a number guy, and you are the videographer for KMA Racing. So we are broadcasting tonight in 1080. At 6,000 on the bit rate, and you're watching it on the big screen, and it's looking good.
Yep, 1080p, looking very good.
All righty, very good. All righty, but more importantly, back here to the race, the drivers are fueled up, geared up, ready to go. They're within that fuel window, 30 to go, 19 lead changes, 3 cautions. What are your prediction for the final? When we go, it'll be 28 laps to go. What do you think's going to happen out here?
I'm not really sure. I wish I could see the sim. I'd be able to tell you a lot better because I'm 30 seconds behind watching this video.
Well, from experience. From experience,
you got to get a good start. Good start towards the front.
Alrighty. Hey, big shout out there to GW Graphics. This 1080, it's bringing your stuff to life. So thank you, Gary, for the great graphics and the great commercials that you do provide for KMA TV.
Yep, you're welcome, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our third caution of the night, going to chat with Craig Kenny. How about it, Craig Kenny? Have you got a copy, sir?
I got you, Scott.
All righty. Now, unfortunately, sir, unless I am wrong on my camera angles, I think you got a little bit into a driver, bringing out our third caution of the night. Talk us through what was happening there, because I tell you what, you have been a front runner all night.
Yeah, I accidentally got into the 42 going through the tri-oval there. I kind of jumped to the high side, then was trying to get down to the bottom again, and just kind of hooked him by accident. I feel bad about it, but, that's racing.
Well, and you're absolutely right. That is racing, and I know that you owned it and took responsibility. You're a good driver. But now, right now, you started 11th here in second position. 28-lap shootout for the GoPro Chevy Silverado. What are your predictions out here tonight?
Well, hopefully I'm predicting that we go green to the end here and see how it all shakes out.
All righty. Loving the accent. You're up there in Canada. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? You got any fans? I know you got a wife out there. Is she rooting you on tonight?
Yeah, she's asleep right now, but I'll give her a shout out anyway. Appreciate her for putting up with all my racing and stuff like that. So.
She's dreaming about you. She's dreaming that Craig Kenny brings it home tonight at Talladega.
Hope so. Thanks, buddy.
All right, good luck, Craig.
Thanks.
Craig Kenny in the number 90. Edward Bray out there on that front line. Hey, big shout out to Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue having some serious computer issues, just a bad run of bad luck. But Chris, we got a lot of drivers out there in your corner and hoping to see you back out here tonight. Missing seeing the number 6 Napa. That will put Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer, Edward Bray, Lee Ryerson, Ronald Klein still out there in a very good spot out here tonight. But it is go time. These drivers are fueled up, geared up, reared up, gunned up, jacked up, jazzed up, ready to rock and roll. Edward Bray, though, Ronald Klein, Estelle Fields, strategy. Interesting. Going in with 1 to go. Now, that tells me either they were not sure about their fuel load or they're predicting another caution. All right, now that being the case, that would not surprise me at all if Edward and Estelle and Ronald possibly even allowed a gap off of the front guns, Craig Kenny, Wally Tierheimer. Now, that will put 6 degrees of separation between Lee and Ed. Now, Lee and Ed are teammates. Strategy. You got to love the strategy out here, ladies and gentlemen. Also want to give a big shout out there to Gearhead Paint Shop, Ted Immenheiser, the painter for KMA Racing. Also a big shout out there to Blaze Pizza, our Friday night sponsor, as well as Pro Automotive, our Tuesday night sponsor. Richard Brose, Dothan, Alabama. And don't forget about Pad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is KMA TV. This is Slamming Saturday special race event brought to you by KMA Racing. Big shout out there to the fans on KMA TV chat. Lap 72 of 128 to go. 21 lead changes, 3 cautions, 6 laps. Copy that, Chris. We miss you too, sir. Get your stuff fixed, brother. Who you rooting out here for, Chris? What do you think? Craig Kenny might have her wrapped up and put to bed. Although we all know that being in first place with 10 to go, well, it sucks. That's not where you want to be. You do not want to be in first place position with 10 to go. All right, I got to make my vote too. We've got Gary Whitmer Sr., I do believe, rooting on Edward Bray. We've got Mom Whitmer rooting on Ronald Klein. I think Chris Hogue may have voted for Ronald Klein. All righty, my bet is actually going to go with Lee Staples. Lee Staples, Black Talon Racing. The cat is hungry. He's out here with Edward Bray, Ronald Klein. I recently met Edward Bray, Ronald Klein. Actually had dinner. So that was pretty cool. Ronald Klein, very nice young man. Edward Bray, pretty nice old man. He's an old geezer like me. We don't care. Once you cross 40, folks, it's you lose your vanity. So it's kind of cool seeing Edward Bray and Ronald Klein down there in Alabama. Big shout out there to Ronald Klein for hooking up. KMA TV. We are broadcasting tonight in 1080. We actually got the 1080 maxed out. Anything further on, I believe we go into numbers I don't recognize, 1172 or something like that. I'll have to get with Gary Whitmer about that. Nonetheless, if it's looking good, I'm leaving it where it's at. We're at 6,000 on the bit rate and 1080 in high def. Relying on the feedback from the viewers out there, whether I got to drop her down or boost her up. Get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. 27 laps to go. 100 laps out here tonight at Talladega. Craig Kenny, pace car is in. Craig Kenny, Lee Staples, Edward Bray, inside lane domination. Black Talon Racing, Edward Bray, number 66, inside lane, side by side with the number 19 and the number 42. 3/4 of tonight's race in the books. 75 of 125 to go. Riding on the nose of Ronald Klein. Plenty of room to get her done. 3 wide. Ronald Klein being very patient, though. It is go time. But it's only so much go time. It's go time to get into the top 5 now. You're up there in that top 5 right now. It's not serious go time. Right now, Wally Tierheimer leading that inside lane. Now, again, folks, you got to realize here that Wally Tierheimer is not the fastest driver on this track right now. He is being pushed. He is only as fast as the number 90 will push. Right now, the fastest driver on that track could very well be Edward Bray. He's getting such a pull from the teammate, number 64 of Lee Staples. Right now, Ronald Klein, his last lap was a 49.658. Edward Bray, 49.828, telling me that Edward Bray is actually lifting. Looking at Ronald Klein with a 49.658 as well. Number 28, Chris Voiles, back on that lead lap. Hooray for Chris Voiles. Now, Chris Voiles on the rear end of the number 65 of Sean W. Brown. 65 on the rear end of Wally Tierheimer. Wally Tierheimer side by side with Lee Ryerson, trying to lead lap 78. Wally Tierheimer leading 2 laps. Lee Ryerson leading 2 laps. Lee Ryerson, our race leader, as a 42. Below the yellow. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't go below that yellow, brother. Wally Tierheimer on that outside lane. Get a little bit excited out here. Alrighty, copy that with GW Graphics. But I tell you what, GW. 3 wide, Sean Brown, Wally Tierheimer. Alrighty, but I tell you what, if we're looking good at 6,000 on the 1080, I'm going to leave it right there. No need to push past 1080. I don't know anybody who goes past that 1080 mark, so if we're looking good, GW, we're going to leave it right where it's at. Side by side with Lee Ryerson. I tell you what, folks, I would love nothing more than Lee Ryerson to win tonight's race. Is this a prelude to tomorrow night? Because I tell you what, we always hope for a pad truck to win on the monthly pad race. Lee Ryerson, if he can win this tonight, he will show up tomorrow night. Very excited. RTK, number 76, Ronald Klein, still sitting in position 6. Being pushed on by Edward Bray. Can Edward Bray and Ronald Klein bring home a 1-2 position for Mom and Dad Whitmer out here tonight? That would be way cool. Wally Tierheimer down in front of the number 19, Lee Ryerson, taking over that number 1 spot as we approach lap 80 of 100. Lee Staples trying to get hooked up with the number 66. 3 wide, back it out. Number 28, back it out. Not yet, not yet. He backed it out. Whew. All right, it got a little bit excited right there. Thought the number 28 was going to go 3 wide. Let's talk about go time. Lap 79 of 100. It's not yet go time. If you're up here in the front like Wally, I would actually consider dropping back because you know you're going to get passed. Right now, let's take a look at RTK. Number 76, number 66. What's going to happen here if we stay in this momentum? This is what is going to happen. Edward Bray, Ronald Klein, Lee Staples, Joel Guy, that's the KMA, 1, 2, 3, 4. With 5 to go, they're going to hit that third lane. And they're going to smoke that middle lane. It's simple as that, folks. They're going to smoke that middle lane. Now, if you're down on the inside lane, Wally Tierheimer's fate is in the hands of the number 19 of Lee Ryerson. If the number 42 gets a wind of that outside lane, breaking loose, going for that win, well, he's going to abandon that inside lane. So Wally Tierheimer, I hate to say it, I love Wally, I love Hardee's, I love Carl's Jr., but I'm not so sure Wally Tierheimer is in the best place to be with 19 to go at Talladega. Drivers are going to be tearing down onto some lap traffic. Passing 004 of Michael Johnson. Looking at Freeman Kelly. Freeman Kelly in the number 31, position 11. Still trying to track down Joel Guy. Joel Guy, GoPro, number 90, Craig Kenny. Craig Kenny in position 10. Freeman Kelly back up, gonna abandon that inside lane, going with the Marine fella. Craig Kenny fighting for his life. Lap 83 of 100, 17 to go tonight. 27 lead changes, 3 cautions. Joel Guy, where are we going, Joel? Freeman Kelly, not very decisive of whether he's going to go with Joel or he's going to try to pass Joel. Joel Guy staying very dedicated to the number 64 of Lee Staples. Lee Staples onto the rear end of Edward Bray. Edward Bray on the rear end of Ronald Klein. Double file racing here at Talladega. Lap 84 of 100 in the Slammin' Saturday. Wally Tierheimer out there in front with 16 to go. Closing in on those final laps, Wally Tierheimer, he is the man with a target on his back. I want to give a big shout out there to Edward Bray, Race Control tonight. Race Control having to try to run their own race as well as admin in the room, as Gary Winmer knows. And I tell you what, it gets confusing up there again. Apologies there for GW. GW missing a great race out here tonight through no fault of his own, but being a very good sport about it. Number 64, Lee Staples, staying hard and heavy onto his teammate, Black Talon. We are almost 3 wide. Are we going to go 3 wide? When do you go 3 wide? If you're back here in position 7, that's the true go time. We got 14 to go. Edward Bray, Lee Ryerson is still doing the do. Loving the number 19, Lee Ryerson, showing his support for PAD tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, live broadcast. I do believe my good friend Cody will be joining us up tomorrow night in the race for PAD. People against distracted driving. Contact Wally Tierheimer. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, 3 wide action up here in the front. Ronald Klein, Wally Tierheimer, Sean W. Brown. What happened here? Talk to... Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Oh, no. Say it isn't so. Okay, stop. Freeze frame. Number 28. That's Max Velocity, feller. Number 57. Max Velocity. Let's go forward. Oh, no. Right there. Say it isn't so as the number 28. Bumper hooks Wally Tierheimer. And Wally Tierheimer into the number 65, into the number 76. Ooh, Edward Bray getting hit. Ooh, all right. Gonna have to get me a GW. You got to get me a file for the Beach Boys Wipeout, and that's what I would queue up right now. All right, I know that's gonna get a laugh out there on a GW. I tell you what. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, phew, wowie dowsy. All right, that'll put Sean Brown, position 1. Lee Ryerson, position 2. Cycling in and out of pit road, Lee Staples, currently in position 1. As these drivers do get in and out. Even if you survived it, you're going in one more time. Fresh tires, what the heck? Lee Ryerson, Edward Bray, Lee Staples, Sean Brown is still fields. Joel Guy staying out there on that field. That'll put Ronald Klein 1 lap down, I do believe, pulling out of pit row. That'll put Mr. Lee out there on front along with Mr. Lee. All righty. All right. Who to talk to? Well, I'll tell you, I'm pretty darn sure that we're going to talk to one of the Lees before the night is over. Looking at Joel Guy. I like the Joel Guy fella. How about it, Mr. Joel Guy? Joel Guy.
Yeah, Scott, I got a copy on you.
Well, hi, Guy. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I tell you what, we were not quite expecting that late caution. But we have been talking about your truck tonight. We got those cameras on your truck. Marine Corps fella, talk to me.
Well, I joined the Marine Corps. My father was in the Navy in World War II, and when I got old enough, I decided I'd go in the Marine Corps, and I went into the Marine Corps. Planned on making it a career, but I got injured in training camp, and they wouldn't promote me, so I got out on a medical discharge.
All righty, copy that. Taking a walk around your truck, sporting the red, white, and blue. Looking great. All right, now, Joel, you started 23rd. Wow. 20 advancement positions and 4 cautions. You're up there in position 3rd. Talk to me about go time. You haven't had a win for a while. Do you think you're in a good spot? You got Lee up there. You got 2 Lees up there. Talk to me about what's in your head right now with 11 to go.
Well, in my head is I've got some damage on the truck, so I don't know if I've got enough truck to get to the lead and take a win. But I'm definitely gonna try to push one of the Lees to the win if I can, and make it a win for KMA.
All righty, well, right now we are looking to walk around your truck. The camera guy's being very careful not to get run over. The damage, you got a little bit of scrapey bob on the right side, just a little bit of touch-up paint, airplane glue. I don't think that damage is going to be a big deal, Joel.
Well, I hope not, but I did slap the wall right before that caution. We were going to go 3 wide to get to the front, and a group of us, and I got out too far and brushed the wall, and so that's the damage I was talking about.
All righty, well, good luck to you, Joel Guy. It's go time, brother. Good luck to you.
Thank you, and you're right, it's go time. My crew chief just told me to bring back the steering wheel or the trophy.
All righty, copy that. How about at Lee Staples?
How you doing, Scott?
You guys are wearing me out tonight with some green flag laps, I tell you what. But now you're out here representing Black Talon. Now, unfortunately, Edward Bray, he's been kicking ass all night long. But unfortunately, 1 lap down. It's up to you for Black Talon. Talk to me about Black Talon. Talk to me about Joel Guy and Lee. What are you going to do with a 10-lap shootout?
To be honest with you, Scott, I feel like it's every man for himself at this point. Being nice goes out the window, and you're going to do whatever you need to do to win. Obvious not driving dirty, but you're not going to cut guys as many breaks as you were before.
All right, now we were talking about Joel Guy, and Joel Guy said he is going to push some dude named Lee. He don't care. There's 2 of you out there. But Joel Guy's got a little bit of right side damage. Now we got Becky Whitmer out there rooting on Ronald Klein, first driver 1 lap down. We got Gary Whitmer, senior, rooting on, I do believe, Edward Bray. Ronald Klein being rooted on by Mom Whitmer. So I don't know, man. You're up there. Every man for himself. Talk to me about Black Talon.
Yeah, me and Edward Bray formed the team a couple of months ago. We wanted something that was exclusive to KMA racing only, and we've been having a blast, Scott. Loved every minute of it. Great league.
All right, and I tell you what, you did push me to a win on Thursday till we had some crazy dude parking in the middle of the track with 2 to go. So you've already been up there. Good luck to you. Get her done, Black Talon.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, getting back to some green flag racing. Lap 90 of 100, 10 to go, 29 lead changes, 4 cautions. Ronald Klein, 1 lap down. And away we go, boogity, boogity, booty. Lap 90. Now, Ronald Klein is 1 lap down. At this point in time, Ronald's focus is to help. The question is, who's he going to help? Right now, he is helping out Lee Staples on that outside lane, trying to outrun the inside lane belonging to Lee Ryerson as still fields Joel Guy in the number 91. And look at Ronald Klein go. Ronald Klein all over the rear end of Lee Staples. Edward Bray 3 laps down in pit row. Wally Tierheimer 4 laps down, back up here to Joe Guy. And Lee Ryerson out there on that front line. But I tell you what, you can see damage onto the side angle of Lee Ryerson. Lee Ryerson having a little bit of side damage. Lee Ryerson all over the rear end of the number 64, 76, Ronald Klein. Freeman Kelly back up into position 3. Joel Guy, love it or leave it, Mr. Marine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is really time to put them picks out. All right, Ronald Klein, 1 lap down, possibly out of the win. We've got Gary Whitmer Sr. was rooting on Edward Bray. Now Edward Bray 4 laps down. All righty, so you got to roll them dice again, folks. Roll them dice again. We are looking at our choices for tonight's win is Lee Staples, Lee Ryerson, Freeman Kelly, Joel Guy, Estill Fields. Those are our top 5 drivers out there on that lead lap. All righty, I'm going to put in my point here. I'm thinking, let's see. Estill. Yeah, well, it's not going to be a steal. Estill's pretty far. I'm not thinking it's going to be a steal. But I tell you what, he has fought valiantly tonight. I'm not thinking he's going to get her done. So, like Freeman Kelly, Facebook at F Kelly D Doctor One D Run Doctor One. All right, number 31 Tundra F Kelly D Drone. Freeman's got a good shot at it. Number 91, Joel Guy's got a good shot. Lee Ryerson representing Pad. Lee Staples out in front. Ronald Klein 1 lap down. Being a trooper, though. Now, Ronald is 1 lap down. So, Ronald is in a position. Who can I help? Who can I help? All right, Becky Whitmer rooting for Joel Guy. And you know what? I think you're right. I think Joel Guy has got a legitimate chance. Lee Staples, Lee's a great guy. Lee's a wonderful dude. But Joel Guy wants to win it. There goes Joel Guy to that outside lane. And Lee Staples, well, you heard him say, every man for himself. So I don't know if Joel Guy was listening to that on that KMA TV broadcast. But right now, Joel Guy, lap 95 of 105 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, get her done, Joel Guy. RTK, though. RTK in a difficult position. Now, RTK, Joel Guy, Lee Ryerson, Lee Staples, they're all in the same chat. So now imagine that. Being in the same chat channel. Go, Lee. I got you, Ronald. I got you, Lee. I got you, Mr. Staples. I got you, Joel Guy. It's a cluster muck down there in that KMA TV chat channel on TeamSpeak. Who can you trust? It's like George Thorogood says. Who do you love? And right now, Ronald Klein loving the rear end of the number 91 of Joel Guy. Lap 96 of 100. 5 trucks up here in this lead pack. Joel Guy, Lee Staples, Lee Ryerson, Freeman Kelly. We've had only 4 cautions out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Been a great race out here on the KMA Racing Slam and Saturday. Want to give a big shout out there to the KMA TV fans out there. Lee Staples out there on that front line. Nothing but clean air out there in front for Lee Staples. But let's drop it back to the number 31 of Freeman Kelly. Side by side with Joel Guy. Joel Guy, nothing but clean air in front of him. But he has got to get around the number 64 of Lee Staples, lap 97. Closing laps, ladies and gentlemen. Lee Staples getting a big boost from the number 19 of Lee Ryerson Jr. Joel Guy making a big run on that outside lane. Get a big help from the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Freeman Kelly dropping off that pad. All righty, Freeman Kelly. Bye-bye, birdie. Freeman Kelly, well, he's out of the picture now. Caution dependent. Lee Staples, Joel Guy, Lee Ryerson in the lap traffic of Ronald Klein, RTK Motorsports. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can guarantee you this. Joel Guy, Lee Staples, or Lee Ryerson will win. Hey, a big shout out there to Allison and stepson Jordan, 2017 graduates. And I was looking at the pictures up there on Facebook today. There, Gary, you have a very beautiful young daughter there. Looks like she's got a very promising future. My first good picture of you. You're a pretty handsome fellow yourself. And a big shout out there to Mom and Dad Whitmer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lap 98 of 102 to go. 31 lead changes, 4 cautions, totaling 10 laps. Joel Guy out there in position 1. Lee Ryerson, Lee Staples, Ronald Klein trying to help whoever he can. This would be an overwhelming victory for Joel Guy or Lee Ryerson. Lee Staples getting a second place position earlier on this week. We are on lap 99 of 100. Ladies and gentlemen, talk to me. Joel Guy, Lee Staples, Lee Ryerson. Will Lee go 3 wide? Well, Lee Ryerson's got no pusher. Lee Staples making a run down to that inside, leaving Ronald Klein's lap traffic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Staples, Joel Guy, Lee Ryerson. All righty, what a, well, it ain't over till it's over, of course, but I tell you what. Oh, we have got some action still going on as Joel Guy, he's going to make a run. Go Joel, RTK up there onto it. Oh no, say it isn't so as RTK, Joel Guy made contact. Oh, whew, wow. All righty. Well, I tell you what, that'll put Lee Staples, I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, will win tonight's race. I am excited as a bed bug on a king-size mattress in a Motel 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for our official race results to come in. Lap 100, but tentatively we are looking at, I do believe, Lee Staples out there on that front line. And that'll put Lee Staples out there on that front line. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night out here for Lee Staples. And we're going to take a quick look at our final results out here tonight. We have got Joel Guy. Now, Joel Guy is going to finish out tonight in that third place position. How about it, Joel Guy?
That was a fun race, Scott.
I tell you, it was a blast, brother, because I tell you what, you know, we talked about Lee and Joel up here. Now, Joel Guy, it's been a long time since you have had a top 5 position. Was it luck? Was it skill, brother? You held out. We only had 4 cautions. Joel, how'd you bring her home tonight for a third place position?
Well, the first part of the race, I was very careful not to get in any positions that would damage me. I did get damaged one time because of getting in somebody else's mess, but I kept my truck clean as I could and just waited until the end to start moving to the front and fight for it.
All righty. Anybody you want to give a big shout out there too, Joel Guy?
Yes, I want to give a big shout out to KMA for putting on these races and also to you for broadcasting them. Also, I want to put out a shout to PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, who we're racing for tomorrow night.
All righty. Thank you, Joel Guy. All righty. How about it, Lee Ryerson Jr.?
Yes, sir. Got a copy. How you doing?
I'm doing
Fun
good.
for you up there?
It was a blast. Now I tell you what, I'm not going to disrespect my good friend Lee Staples, but I tell you what, I am mighty proud that you brought the Angels Never Die the second place. I was kind of hoping you get first, but it's okay. You got second. Talk to us about your race tonight, bringing home the Angels Never Die pad truck to position number 2.
Yeah, it was fun, and we had some teammates up front, and I wasn't gonna push it. It was, a fun race, like Joel said. Got a little damage in the beginning, but hung back, and here we are. 1, 2, 3, and great. Thanks to you guys and everybody else, and Pad for their sponsors and every other sponsor. So it was fun, a lot of fun.
All righty, we hope to see you tomorrow night in the same bat truck, the same bat scheme. So tonight, bringing home the legacy of Nikki Clenny to a position 2. Good job, Lee. Good job, Lee Ryerson.
Thank you, sir. And I definitely see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be in the same truck.
Yep. All righty, Lee Staples.
How you doing, Scott?
Well, I am about as happy as a fat man in a donut shop coming off a 7-day fat guy diet. You'd push me to almost a win. We ain't going to talk about Thursday, but nonetheless, you took home a second place on Thursday. You got her done tonight. Talk to me. It's all yours, brother.
It's bittersweet for me, Scott, because you do not know how bad I wanted to see the third place guy win this race. I mean, he has helped so many guys. Joel Guy with technical issues. I mean, he is a rock of KMA. And to be honest with you, Scott, I wanted to see him win tonight. As crazy as that sounds.
All right, well, I tell you what, you did a great job out here tonight. Big shout out to you. One more time talking to me about Black Talon.
Yeah, me and Edward Bray, and we just formed a team a couple of months ago exclusively. We only run KMA, nothing else. And we've just been having a ball. And I do want to thank Joel for earlier in the race. I had lost the lead pack, and he was bumping me real good for about 5 laps there, and got me around some lap traffic, and he really made things a lot easier for me. So I thank him for that.
All righty, I tell you what, you did an awesome job tonight. And we're going to see you tomorrow night at the monthly Race for Pad Awareness. Unfortunately, Edward Bray falling down a few laps tonight, but I tell you what, getting her done tonight for Black Talon Racing. Good job, Lee Staples.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap her up tonight. We have got Lee Staples bringing it home tonight in the Slammin' Saturday. We're going to flash up those results one more time, and we're going to check on out of here, and we'll check you out tomorrow night in the monthly Race for Pad. I am Scott Kolovic. This is KMA TV, and we'll catch you out there on that flip side. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, you guys not?
Yep.